If you run a small business, you know there's one thing you're always thinking about. So today, we're going to break down a pretty common marketing strategy you see advertised to local businesses. It's framed as a simple four-part game plan to get customers in the door without, breaking the bank. Let's get into it.
This is the big question, isn't it? The internet is just this massive, incredibly noisy place, so how on earth does a local shop or a small service business even make a dent? How do you connect with the people who are literally right around the corner looking for exactly what you sell?
So I found this ad, and it's basically our roadmap for this whole conversation. It does a really nice job of packaging a pretty standard digital marketing approach into 4 clear pillars. And if we can understand how each one works, we can start to see how the whole system fits together. So, what's step 1?
Okay, so pillar 1, getting found. Honestly, it all starts here, right? Because if customers can't find you, well, nothing else really matters. This whole first part is about one thing, visibility. It's about making sure your business pops up the second someone in your area even thinks about searching for what you do.
All right, so the first tool in the toolbox here is something called local SEO. Think of it like this. If the internet is a gigantic city, local SEO is just making sure your business is on the main map with the right address and a big, clear sign. In the real world, this is all about perfecting your Google business profile so you show up with the right hours, the right location, all the stuff that makes it super easy for a local customer to find you.
And that right there, that's the holy grail. You know when you pull out your phone and type coffee shop near me or plumber in Brooklyn? You want to be one of those first names that shows up. Local SEO is the engine that drives that, making you the most convenient, most obvious choice.
Now, this slide is super important because it clears up a really common point of confusion. On the one hand, you have local SEO. Think of that as earning a great reputation around town. It takes time, but it builds this really deep, organic trust. On the other hand, you have Google Ads or pay-per-click. That's like buying a giant billboard right at the busiest intersection. It's fast, it gets you seen immediately, but everyone knows you paid to be there. So, one is a slow burn that builds trust, the other is instant visibility.
And here's the real beauty of that paid approach. With pay-per-click, you're not just, shouting into the wind. You are paying only when somebody who is actively looking for what you offer takes the time to actually click on your ad. It's an incredibly targeted way to get in front of the right people right now. Okay, so a potential customer has found you. Great, but that's just step 1. That's only half the battle. Now you have to convince them that you're the right choice. And that brings us to the second pillar, building trust. And that's where, you guessed it, social media comes into play. But not maybe in the way you're thinking. It isn't just about posting sales or running ads. For a local business, the real magic of social media is about building an actual community. It's your shot to show off the personality behind the logo and become a trusted local name.
And that is the key phrase right there. Content that builds trust. The entire point of your content, whether you're showing photos of your work, sharing customer reviews, or a little behind-the-scenes video, is to build that feeling of trust. It's proof that you're a real, active, and reliable business that actually cares.
All right, let's recap. They found you, they trust you. Now comes the moment of truth, right? Turning all that hard work into actual business. This third pillar is where a curious browser decides to become a paying customer.
This brings us to your website and this kind of technical sounding thing called CRO, or conversion rate optimization. Just imagine your website is a real physical store. If the aisles are messy, it's confusing, and nobody can find the cash register, people are just going to walk out. CRO is just the digital version of making sure your store is clean, organized, and makes it incredibly simple to buy something. Look at this. This is the dream journey for every single visitor. CRO is just the science of making this path as smooth as possible. Is your phone number huge and easy to find? Is the Book Now button impossible to miss? The whole idea is to remove any friction, any tiny bit of hesitation, because making that path effortless can make a huge difference.
So how do you even know if any of this is working? How do you know you're actually turning visitors into customers? Well, that brings us to a really interesting little detail in the ad we've been looking at. You might have noticed this number popping up, 75%. It's bold, it's specific, and it's definitely there to get your attention.
But what does that even mean? 75% of what? Is that a success rate, an industry average, a goal? The ad, well, it doesn't say. And that little bit of mystery, that's a marketing tactic all on its own. It's designed to make you lean in and ask questions.
And you know what? In the end, it doesn't really matter what that number means.
The real point here, the big takeaway, is that good marketing is measured marketing. Whether you're tracking your conversion rate, how many clicks you get, or just how many new customers walk in the door, you have to measure your results. It's the only way to know what's actually working.
And that's when it all starts to click. The moment you start measuring, you realize that these aren't just 4 separate things you're doing. They're all part of one big engine. We've talked about getting found, building trust, and sealing the deal, but they're not separate tasks. The real magic happens when you see it all as one interconnected system.
So let's put the whole game plan together. See how this flows? SEO and ads, they open the door and invite new people in. Your social media is like the friendly greeting that makes them feel welcome and builds trust. And finally, your website. Your well-oiled website makes it completely painless for them to do business with you. Each part just hands the customer off to the next, creating this perfect path from a total stranger to a happy customer.
So I guess the question to ask yourself about your own business is this: is your marketing just a list of chores you have to do? You know, a little SEO here, a social media post there, or is it all working together like a unified team? A real game plan, all pushing towards that one single goal: growing your business.